Hello and welcome to another episode of Between the Studs. I'm your host Mark. Today we've got Randy and Joe.
Hello.
And boy am I excited today because we are talking about LEGO Elves.
Yay.
Specifically the TV show, but we have all the sets and figures from this particular TV show in front of us right here.
Yeah. I wish we had all of them though, because there's a few we're missing that we don't have right now.
The sets, right?
Yes,
yeah.
The sets. We have all these great figs though.
Yeah.
That's right.
I'd say the most of the sets.
Yeah.
So we might be missing like the Goblin King's castle.
I know, that's the one I want, so.
Yeah, just a few here and there, but overall, I think we got a pretty good selection here, which is fun. So, LEGO Elves, Secrets of Elvendale. We'll get to that in a second.
Yes.
Came out in 2017, 6.6 on IMDb.
That's kind of high.
Really?
That's
That's
the official forever rank of
Out of 100, right?
yes.
Yep.
Lots of characters, but first let's get your overall high-level thoughts. What did you think of the show? How'd you feel about you watched it in separate locations. Joe
Yes.
binged it with me last night,
Yeah.
and you watched it at home.
I watched it at home, yeah.
What'd you think, Reddy?
It's a show. It's a something. It seems like the very beginning was very different than the end. And so the beginning I liked some of the things in the background. You could see some of the Lego pieces and different things, and then it feels like towards the end some of those went away. But not the best character development like of what I thought in my head was going to happen. Love the goblins.
So the goblins were a highlight for you.
They
Yes.
were definitely the best part of the show.
Yeah, they're hilarious and it's fun. So, and also the dragons.
Yes. You
When
were
we-
looking
when
for
we
more
saw-
dragons.
I was looking when
I
it
know.
first started. I'm like, what a waste! Like you see one in the background in like the first few
And then
episodes,
they're
and
like,
that's
all right,
it.
they gotta go molt.
Right, and they're just like gone. And I was like, what? And then they came back though, so
Yeah.
that was a
you know,
redeeming.
to carry the heroes back home.
Right, yeah.
Exactly.
And
So,
leave the
Joe,
goblins.
how'd you feel about LEGO Elves overall?
I'm glad I didn't watch it alone. That would've-
Poor Randy.
My husband was very confused.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, it's like I would have been like sitting there so bored, but because you were there, my wife was there, and Daniel was there, we actually had a good time. It was very enjoyable
Yeah.
because it was so dumb. It's just one of those things.
It's pretty dumb.
When you watch a stupid show with people, it's very enjoyable.
Yeah.
And
Right.
there was highlights. The goblins obviously were the best part.
Oh yeah,
They had the best lines, just the best character development.
and they had no speech, so
Yeah.
them having the best lines tells you where the show
Exactly.
went.
They
They had such a weird little raspy
Yes.
voice that
It was
it's their own
great.
language.
And they have the best names.
They do.
So
Yeah.
I got you right here. This
Okay.
is Barblin.
Mhm.
We got Beeblin. We got Dukelin. We got Fiblin. We got Guxlin. Giblin. Remlin. Roblin. Smimlin. And Dufflin.
Yes, yes.
Schmimlin is my favorite.
Schmimlin.
all the
Schmimlin.
limbs.
Yes.
All the limbs.
Although Beeblin had the most character development.
He did.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think Beeblin and Dukelin were the most featured. I'm
Yes.
sure.
Dukelin has an eye patch,
yeah.
but
Yes.
I realized right before you started, the eye patch is on the wrong eye.
From the show.
The
From the
show
show,
had it
yeah.
on the other eye, so
Yeah.
it's like, well, great job.
Oh.
They just missed it by that much.
Netflix,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah, but on the subject of characters, let's get,
Yes.
we might as well mention the other
All right.
characters here too.
I mean,
Yeah.
they're
So
useless.
you got the Goblin King,
Yep.
AKA,
AKA
what was it, Cronin?
Cronin. Darkroot is his last name. Never
Darkroot.
mentioned in the show.
They should have known he was the bad guy from that. I'm
Yeah, well, he
saying.
never said his last name.
Yeah.
So yeah, Emily Jones and
Mhm.
Sophie Jones. Where'd she go?
Doo-doo.
Yeah, there she is. And yeah, Sophie Jones, they're sisters. That's
Yes.
pretty obvious. You got Skyra, who's one of the original 5 mages, which is
Yes.
kind of cool. You got Titus.
He was pretty
Titus,
cool.
yeah.
He
Dragon
wasn't in it
babysitter.
much, but he was cool.
Uh-huh.
He had some moments. He had a good
Yeah,
couple things.
he was cool.
Azari,
Mhm.
and I think her last name is Fire Dancer, if I ever
Yes.
right. Yep,
Yes.
Fire Dancer.
Yep.
Yep. And then you have Nida
Oh.
Riverheart.
Nida.
We'll talk more about
Yeah.
Nida later.
And
you
then
had
Ira.
Ira Wind Whistler,
Mm-hmm.
and you had Farron Leafshade,
All right,
Yes.
all right.
and
Fair
then
and solid.
Rosalind Nightshade.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, are they cousins?
And they both have shade in their last name,
Right.
which is
Kind of
interesting.
shady.
It's relative shade. Anyway, so we have a lot of characters, maybe even a few too many, but what were some of the favorite characters of you guys, and what were some of the least favorite characters? I think we all have a common denominator for the least favorite character, but Joe, what's your favorite characters here?
I mean,
goblins,
I
obviously.
can't say the goblins because I already said I love the goblins.
Yeah.
They're great, but apart from them, from the elf side,
Mhm.
I mean, Titus was cool. He just wasn't in it very much.
He was briefly
So
in it.
maybe I'd probably say Farron, and that's not because he's the only guy in the bunch. It's because he actually had some character development.
Yeah, exactly.
At first, he was kind of like not really sure what he was doing. His powers were not
Incompetent.
great,
Yeah.
and he seemed really dumb. I was like, all right, this guy's an idiot. But later on, he got stronger with his powers, figuring more stuff out, and actually saved him a couple times. So I was like, all right, not bad, not bad.
He had some pivotal moments at the end, yeah.
His humor level was, but it wasn't too bad.
I wasn't busting out laughing at most of Farron's jokes.
He wasn't.
Yeah.
He was no Sokka, if you know what I'm saying.
He was, if you order Sokka from Wish. That's
Wish.com Sokka.
Yeah.
It's like discount Sokka. But Randy, what were some of your highlight characters here?
Okay. I really like Rosalind.
She's
Rosalind?
cool.
Yes, I really liked her throughout the whole thing.
Mysterious.
More mysterious. Not as airheaded as some of her counterparts here.
All of them?
All of them, yeah. And
pretty much all of them except Emily. So.
Right.
Yeah.
And I also like Sophie. For
Sophie
being the
was
younger
funny.
sister,
Yeah.
she did bring some comedy, and I think I'm a little sister, so I was like,
Fair enough.
I felt some of the things with the little sister bug and the big sister. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
Some
So
great
the pointed ear and rounded ear, that's who I like.
Yeah, exactly. We'll get to elven racism
Yes.
later. But
That was great.
so actually, for me, one of my highlights was actually Cronin.
Oh my
The Goblin King, because he had the Riz game at the beginning. Man, he was all about those.
He was rizzing them up in the most
Wooing
weird
those
way
ladies.
possible.
and they were loving it. That's what's funny.
I know, they, some of
Let me
them.
grab your wrist.
Yeah, let me kiss you.
I'll see if I can get a screenshot so we can see exactly what was going on.
It's disturbing.
Yeah, but Goblin King was a highlight. But then I think I like Sophie too, just because
Sophie was funny.
she would actually say, like Joe or Daniel would say, "Is that what's gonna happen?" Then she says, "Is that what's gonna happen?" Like
she would say it, yeah.
Right?
she was self-aware enough to know the satire and the jokes that were happening. So it was funny. So
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
but some good characters overall.
And some horrible.
Yeah,
some
what some of the
horrible
worst characters for you guys? What was not working?
All right,
as
let's
far
all
as-
point to our least favorite
Ready?
character on the count of three. 1, 2, 3.
Nida, the water elf.
What an
Yeah.
idiot.
Oh,
Uh,
she was not the brightest bulb.
No.
she got some bad story beats there.
You French fries short of a Happy Meal.
So they were all like, oh, this guy's so cool and we like him. And then they found out he's evil, right? They're like, oh man, we liked him. Dang it, he's evil now.
Yeah.
And she's like, I can fix him. He's not evil. I
can
know the
change him."
good in him.
Yeah. So she
No.
abandons her friends and
Yes.
inconveniences their whole plan to save the forest to go visit the Goblin King and get captured briefly.
Right.
And she's so like salty because Rosalind is better at potions than her.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
also used to
So
date.
jealous.
Yeah, that's the Goblin
There's
King's
some
ex.
Yeah,
they find out.
It's so strange.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and the treehouse incident. So they live in this beautiful treehouse.
That's in the first
Used to.
episode.
Yeah, that's in the first episode, and it catches fire.
Oh no, stupid goblins.
Oh no, the goblins are under a
Wait.
spell.
One of them has water powers.
Yeah.
Why can't you just?
She has water power.
She goes, and then they run away, and the whole thing burns down. It's like you couldn't just put it all out.
Right.
Yeah, there's a river right over there.
I
Yeah.
was gonna say-
The plot hole
Her-
was very strong.
Or like Earth, like you can't put Earth on the fire,
Yeah.
like he moves everything else around. Or the Fire Lady, can she like poof it out like she does all the other
Can
episodes?
she control the
But-
fire?
like,
Yeah.
come on, water. Seriously.
Nope, we'll just stand
Water
and watch
puts
it.
out fire.
Yeah. We'll just stand and watch it burn.
Yeah, so on the subject of the burning treehouse, it's a really cool scene and location until
Yeah.
it is torched.
It just doesn't
Yeah.
last long.
It also, for me, was kind of like a wake-up call. It's like, okay, this has actually got some, like, they're trying to make some dramatic moments in this. This is more than I was expecting from the show. Did any of those, like, dramatic fake-out deaths or, like, scary scenes catch you off guard
I
a little
love how
bit?
the last
Yeah.
episode was called Sacrifice.
Yeah.
And then Rosalind sacrifices
Spoiler.
herself.
Uh-huh.
And they're like, is she?
No.
And it's like, they won't say it dead.
They won't say
but
she.
yeah.
Yeah.
They were like, is she?
Yeah.
Then she shows up later, and I was like, yep, I saw that coming.
I
being
think
sucked
Laura
into
was
the sky.
surprised.
Laura
Yeah.
was. She was like, wait, what? I was like,
Oh.
obviously, it's a kid's show. They're not going to kill her off.
For like a solid couple minutes, I thought, oh no, they really killed off Rosalind. This is gonna be a great episode. No, they actually
I
did.
don't know.
No.
I knew the dragon was gonna make it, so
Oh, yeah.
somehow they
Oh,
were
yeah.
getting out of there.
Yeah,
She made up with the dragon.
Yeah.
hmm They hugged it out. It was
They
good.
did. Oh. It did have some dramatic.
It was
and I go,
dark at
I
one
was
point,
shocked,
too.
like even the Goblin King, how he treated the girls, and he would. I mean, he
And,
was
dude, and when
handsy and like grabbing them and jerking them around and stuff.
the
And
Throw
I was
you
like,
in a cage.
I was
yeah.
like,
Dude, the
girl,
way he
what are you
treated
doing?
the
Let him
goblins
touch you.
too.
Mhm.
The goblins, man.
The
He
poor
would
goblins.
just smash them and then be like, "Go do my video."
Yeah.
But he would just like at
He'd
one
zap
point
'em,
he
man.
zapped
Yeah.
them and they were all like,
They're
and he's
laying
like,
on the
"Go."
ground, on the ground twitching. I'm like, oh.
I was like, man, that's aggressive.
Those are some tough little goblins, thankfully.
And then at the
she
end,
saw it happen and still was like, "There's good in him."
it's so dumb.
Yeah. So some of the story elements weren't quite making logical sense for us, but yeah.
Especially since he did all that to the goblins, mind controlling them, but then at the end, when they're out of his mind control, they're still like, "Oh, we love you," and I was like, "Why?
No,
What
that's
did
Stockholm
he do?"
syndrome. No,
Yeah.
stop, no. Yeah, the Goblin King got off really light for nearly ending Elvendale.
Yeah, for trying to kill everybody.
And pretty quickly too, just like poof, all of a sudden, okay.
He's like,
it's
"Wait,
good now.
I'm good."
My mother's and it came to me in a dream, and now I'm good. So,
Yeah, he had mommy issues.
Dude,
for real.
there were several points in it that it's like, wow, this feels like it's from a different show. Like at the point where he's trying to open the portal. I know we're talking about the end a lot, but like he's trying to open the portal, and then he has that flash scene. It's like, wait, this is Harry Potter.
Right.
Yeah,
It feels
yeah.
like that
Or the
scene.
Matrix with the
Yes.
all
Yeah,
white.
it's like,
Yeah.
oh, it feels like the scene in the King's Cross Station. Where's
I
the
thought my
ugly
TV
Voldemort?
I thought my TV muted. I was like, why is
Yeah,
there
because
no...
it got so quiet. I was like, what?
They made that very dramatic.
I
That
was
was a
like-
real dramatic scene.
I was like,
Bold
what?
choices for
Yes.
what could have been a very lighthearted kids show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before you watched Elves, the TV show, did you have any experience with these characters, and did the show kind of bring out and surprise you in that way? Like,
It surprised me.
Yeah.
are you more invested in the theme now that you know the context, or is like what's that change there? So,
These came out when Lorelai was young, who's my oldest daughter.
Yeah.
And so she has a ton of these, and we would play
Mhm.
with them when she was younger and stuff.
all
and
the
she would play with
dragons
them,
and stuff. Yeah.
So that show is 1000% the opposite of the narrative
lore
we
that
had
you-
going on in
The
our
headcanon
head
was
with all the
different.
different things. Yeah.
Interesting.
It was very, very,
Quite
it
a
was
feature.
very different, and we had much stronger women, and the dragons more,
Involved in the story. Yeah.
and
This could have been
Yeah.
so much cooler.
our dragons talk.
Yeah.
I think so.
They just did. And
They were
yeah.
just kind of roaring creatures in
like
this
they were an
one.
important part of keeping the realm safe and everything.
Yeah.
And
Obviously, they're dragons.
Right, and all of our goblins were never bad, which was fine for the show. It actually made sense for the show part that they were under spell.
Mischievous, yeah.
They were mischievous, but they were part of the show
Mhm.
or part of
That's
so
interesting.
I definitely agree with that.
It changed the story. You're like, okay, well, the way I played with them, the way
Yes.
you did with your daughter,
Yeah.
was very different from the show. And so, do you prefer the way the show presented, or you still kind of have that headcanon?
Oh no, I'm sticking with mine.
Yeah.
I'm sticking
Sounds
with
a little
mine.
more
Yeah.
balanced.
Yeah.
What about you, Joe? What was your experience
I've
with those?
always thought these are cool sets.
Yeah.
You know, anytime I've seen them come in and stuff, the only thing holding me back from like collecting it is the mini doll style.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not really cool. So I would be like, oh, that's a cool dragon. Oh, that's a cool set. And some of them have like the Titus and the Rosalind. I always thought these were cool because they're headpieces or their hair molds. 'Cause it's
Elaborate,
like
yeah.
that different color, that different style for her.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought they were cool. And I definitely thought, like, oh, you know what? I bet the storyline here is kind of like Emily Jones. It's this girl who kind of got sucked into this portal.
Discovers this
Mhm.
world.
It's like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, where am I? And these people band up with her to fight all these different villains. But the beginning of the show, she just walks through
Yeah.
a portal. It's like, hey guys, good to see you again. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like, this is not what I expected.
Yeah, this might be
And they
old
were-
to you, but it's new to me.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I definitely thought they'd be cool. They were all airheads.
They
they
were-
were so just
They made
stupid.
them not very bright.
No,
it
they
was
were
it was
idiots.
offensive almost to me,
Mm.
and my lore that I had in my head was
Yeah.
I was like, they're all just like, oh no, the house is on fire, and then they're just standing
Run
there, and I'm like,
away.
Oh, they have a little
Okay,
cry
yeah,
session.
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
But
they
I
run away
definitely-
and lose a friend and don't even realize she's not there anymore.
Also,
Yeah.
the disappointment is I see these 3 waves of elf sets,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm like, oh, these are different different villains, and then the show is just at the second wave.
Yes,
You
very
don't get
specific.
anything from the first one or the third one. It's like,
Yeah.
that would be so cool.
Now, like you said, Joe, this was really focusing on the second wave of LEGO
Mhm.
Elves. There were 3 main waves
Yeah.
of the sets that we know of. And so you get some references to the first one with the dragons,
Mhm.
with Skyra and
Yeah.
Titus, I believe, for the first wave.
Yes.
And then they really focused on the second wave, which only had 2 dragons. Goblin King and the Goblins were highly featured because that was their wave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were the villains. And then the third wave, we don't know anything about because
The
it
one with
hasn't
the
come out
bats and
yet.
stuff.
Yeah.
So we missed 2/3, if not more, of
Yeah.
the LEGO Elves sets and characters because they only made one season of the show.
Yeah.
Me and Joe are just bemoaning before. It's like, if only they had started with the first season, Emily Jones's character would probably be a lot more compelling, having discovered this world instead of already knowing it.
Yeah, so. It feels like you walked into the middle of a book.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, wait, what happened?
Wait, she already goes here? She knows this place?
You want to, like, flip a few pages back going, wait, did I miss something?
They couldn't just pretend that the first wave didn't exist, so
yeah.
Emily has to know about the world already, which really kind of puts a wrinkle in the whole first half of the show, in my opinion.
Yes.
But at least for the initial viewing. But yeah, interesting. But we talked a little bit about the story, but let's dive in just a little bit more as far as what happened in the show. There was some elements that we liked, we've already mentioned, some elements that we didn't like, and we already did mention. Is there anything in particular that stood out as the best moment or best moments and the worst moments for you guys specifically? I guess I could start.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't like when the elves were fighting with each other, and there was that teenage drama. That was bothering to me, especially Nida and Rosalind's little head-to-head about potions. They made up in the end, but it's still... I know you gotta have conflict, but I'd rather have the goblins create the conflict.
Yeah.
They already were.
It was so dumb.
So that was annoying to me. One of my favorite moments was probably towards the end when the Goblin King got some redemption moments. He shuts the portal. They're fighting the shadow creature, who we haven't really mentioned yet. When the shadow creature is finally defeated, that was satisfying for me. But what did you guys think about some of the story beats and elements that were best and worst?
Talking about the shadow creature, I mean, Randy had an octopus with blue eyes.
Because
that's basically what it was. There's no reference of it in the sets as far as I know. They didn't make anything.
There's just this black
There is a
octopus.
cat piece, I think.
Oh, is there
There's
like
a cat
dark
and there's a bird. There's the bird too.
Oh, really?
So
The
you get him in the
rainbow.
tiny form when he's disguised.
But almost the whole show, he's this giant octopus looking thing. And my husband was, what? Where'd that come from? He was kind of half watching and like, yeah, it's there.
It was very interesting. So that was one of the weak moments for you, Randy, when the shadow creature was on screen. So.
It wasn't like a plot hole.
Yeah, and it wasn't spooky or scary. It wasn't. I don't know. It just came off comical, and they're so scared, and it was like really.
Yeah, I think that the shadow creature concept was better executed by Dreams.
Yes,
because those villains are like genuinely cool looking, kind of scary. Like, ooh, that's awesome.
And it makes sense as a nightmare, just as complete blackness, how it blacks out the screen.
And like the Nightmare King and the Night Hunter is so much more scary than some of the elves characters.
It went together. This just didn't make any sense in the storyline or how they did things. And so it's like, oh, we need to get that character from here to here, so we'll just make the octopus arm stretch out and just whack it over there when it didn't really happen. So that was not my favorite. Yeah. Did
you have some story or plot elements that bothered you, Joe, or was that kind of...
I mean, that thing was ridiculous because it also was just, it was so flowy. It could just do whatever it wanted, really.
Yeah. Kind of a weak narrative.
It was, because it was like, oh, we need something more powerful so that we can have a redemption for him. That's really what it felt like. It's like, well, he can't be evil the whole time. There has to be some creature that we don't like at all. I was like, all right, this is definitely a good show. I did really like when Beeblin started rocking out in the cage.
That was a highlight, right?
That was amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
The goblins were quite a bit of a highlight.
For
me, I think the fact that they didn't speak any words, like only one or two times did you actually recognize a word that they said or mumbled. I think it would have been nice to hear just a little bit more of what they were saying versus just
yeah.
Which it's totally okay if they sound like that, but maybe just have a spare word or two in the middle of that mumbling, so that you know at least kind of what they're saying.
Oh my gosh,
besides
they were
just pointing.
so funny. Well, I messaged Mark. Because I was like, they very much gave me the Toy Story alien vibes.
Yep, at the end when they're That's hilarious.
There's my other thing. So there's this huge fight at the end at the castle. Everybody gets on their little dragons and flies away, and then there's all the goblins in this like castle that's torn apart. I'm like, wait, what about them? Wait.
They have to rebuild their society.
This is me going, wait, what's happening? Wait.
And I think their village was attacked and wrecked, and so
So I was worried about them, and then they're just looking up, going, meh.
Oh, speaking of the Goblin Village, I did like a lot of the scenes featuring the area with the different goblins that we didn't necessarily get in figure form. I thought it was funny how little Sophie was trying to walk out and she just couldn't get out.
She just kept running around.
The magic was stopping her from escaping. So, do you think that the show did a pretty good job capturing some of the sets? And I know that the characters look a little bit different, but I think the goblins are pretty close to their minifigure selves. How do you guys feel about the translation from Lego to TV?
The beginning I liked a lot more because in the background I kept seeing the little pieces and I was like, wait, that's like the Lego drawn in the back. But I feel towards the end, the backgrounds were blurred a lot more. I don't know if they were just...
You didn't see the Lego pieces.
You didn't see the Lego pieces. You would see even bricks and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, in the background, which
was really cool.
Which was really cool. And I was like, hey, look at that. I thought that was pretty awesome. And then towards the end, you didn't really see that. So at the beginning, I really liked it. I thought that was really cool. The character drawings in them and animations, I thought were pretty spot
fun.
on. Yeah, I thought they were fun. I love the, like I said, the hair pieces are so unique in all these that I think they captured that really well in their costuming and everything.
Yeah, and I think this is not necessarily Lego doing that, but it's the people animating the TV show working to make it look like Lego.
Right.
So we're really critiquing that.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting how they would introduce vehicles or ships, like the airships from the goblins and the elves. Yeah. And then they looked a little bit more rendered versus animated, which just saves them tons of money, obviously. Yeah. But it was like, oh yeah, that's definitely a set. Or the chariot, like this one right here.
There you go, yeah.
I recognized the Lego elements for sure. So if you came at it from a Lego perspective like we did, you'll definitely recognize some characters, vehicles, objects.
Just gotta play them all.
So Joe, do you think that they did a pretty good job translating the sets into the show?
I mean, some of them, like this one, is a great...
The dragons.
Yeah. Well done. This looks really good, very accurate. Because the thing about the elves is they did custom heads for all the dragons.
Yeah.
So they got their colored and imprinting. But then there's other sets like this, where she had a much bigger, house healing center thing. But obviously, I get it. They sized it down. But they also sized down the dragon.
Yeah.
These are supposed to be the same size.
Roughly the same size, yeah.
Not the same size.
Not the same size.
She gets, this
Sapphire got shrunk.
Yeah.
Sapphire got disrespected.
Yeah.
And it was a cool dragon, and it looks cool. This just looks like it's a kid dragon, It looks
very miniaturized, yeah.
But the Goblin King's
Ashwing,
which is a cool name, and also probably the coolest color of the dragon.
Yes.
This looks good.
This was a great character once they got it in there towards the end. I just wish there was more.
That's
more
another
dragons.
good set, the Goblin Village.
This is pretty well done.
3 different buildings. This really looks like the new set from Dreams.
Yes.
I saw it and was like, wow, I didn't even think about it before, but like it really looks
like that new little Dreams Mushroom Village
and
here.
And it would all work together.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's all one building.
This is like, and I mean, they've done 2 different versions of the treehouse, and neither one of them are from the season we watched. They're from the first and the third.
That's technically from the third, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess it's fine.
Yeah,
they had to rebuild.
They rebuilt, I guess.
For that size, I think that was a pretty good rendition of that concept.
Because they gave each of them a little, area.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's the rebuilt version because the one
got
burnt.
The other one they just watched burn down.
Yeah,
it's got a cool punchy bag.
Well, so while watching the show, I was definitely catching some inspirations from previous media or other different genres. So, like, think of it this way. The animation style definitely was giving me some Avatar: The Last Airbender vibes. Were you guys getting that too? And maybe even like some jewelry that has a magical storyline. It gets thrown into the void to stop everything from turning evil. Joe, any thoughts on that?
And whoever was wearing it really was corrupted by it.
Yeah, exactly. Like Lord of the Rings.
And then you get a Harry Potter thing with the white background. And everything, and she's like, "You have to do this," and then it goes back, and it's fine. We just didn't get a crippled little Voldemort. But it was basically the same.
You didn't get a little crippled Goblin King in there
it was almost like Thanos and young Gamora,
Yeah. Well, so that's when they have their elven powers going through Emily's amulet. I was getting some Infinity Gauntlet vibes with the colors and stuff. So
maybe that's where they got the idea for the Infinity Stones.
Right.
Exactly.
Elves inspired so many
Power
movies.
Rangers, Captain Planet, like all those things.
Oh yeah.
It just was like. And it's always funny because any of those shows you get, even in Jago stuff, it's like when they all unite their powers together, you're like, okay, cool. But there's like all their powers plus Rosalind plus the Goblin King. I was like, wait, what are we doing? Like, how many do you need? 7, perfect number to defeat it.
Yeah, exactly. Just the right balance.
Wait, did we talk about all the different powers that they had? Because
that's
important. That's important.
Let me show you guys.
Yeah.
Rosalind did she have wind?
She had a multitude of things. She was water. And she had some other stuff too, like wind and water. But
so I think she kind of had a mixture of both. She was the previous queen before he stole her throne, by the way.
Yeah, story of
Farron, Earth.
Mostly roots.
Yeah, a lot of tree stuff. Wind for Ira.
She was blowing stuff around.
Nadia, water. Azari, fire. He was just
dragon
I think he was wind though. I think he was a wind guy. And then Skyra was the original of the
Wind
Wind.
Mage.
Wind, yeah.
Obviously, Emily doesn't have anything.
Love.
Oh gosh.
Oh my god.
She has the power of love.
That's
Power
true.
of love.
They introduced the beginning, right? By the way, he has Earth. They introduced the beginning, and you get the 5 sisters. The original 5 sisters each had their element: Earth, Fire, Water, Wind, and Love.
The power of love.
It literally made me think of the Ninjago movie where he's like, so let me get this straight. We've got ice, lightning, earth, water, fire, and green.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, that's what it felt like. It's like, really?
The power of love.
I tried to tell Joe, all you need is love. There's a whole song about it.
It's just, I was like, really? This is almost as bad as Elsa being the center of all the elements.
Yeah.
It just was like, why love? What is that the 5th element of?
So the show did take a lot of, like, at least animation style from Avatar. However, the magic system is a lot less organized and understandable.
Yes.
Because they can just kind of make whatever spell and whatever action they want. Like the water elves do different things. Like she had like a tablet she could read their
It's
footprints.
so weird. I was like, that's not how that works.
And then Azari seemed to, sometimes she could just shoot a huge fireball. Sometimes she needed somebody to spark a light to get it going. And it's like.
And then the water girl, she was like, "Oh, I can't put out the fire."
Yeah.
And then later on, she's surfing on a waterfall.
Yeah, she submerges a castle on top of a mountain with her water powers. Like so clearly she's leveled up or something.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's just the plot
How
on
did
that
it change
was,
up? When they were talking about the elements, one of my not favorite scenes is she's like, "Let me explain it to you," because they're trying to explain to them what they are, and she grabs her little wand and she's gonna draw it for them because it's too hard to explain, so they're gonna draw it for
pictures.
you. So she draws fire, draws a flame, and earth, she draws like a little circle, and wind, she draws a thing that looks just like the flame.
And it's like,
and you're like, wait,
then she gives the Goblin King's eye symbol.
Yeah. And you're like, you had to draw that? We couldn't talk about that. It was bad, and they're all looking at it like this is the most great thing.
Oh my goodness, I understand now.
Wow.
If you had said that to me, I wouldn't have got it.
I wouldn't have understood wind, but
this is also
now.
2/3 through the show. They're explaining all this for you.
You're like,
It's like,
okay,
thanks
we
for
got
telling
it.
me now.
Oh boy. Anyway, all those shortcomings contemplated now, what would you guys rank LEGO Elves compared to other normal TV shows, and then also compared to other LEGO TV media and shows that you've seen?
I know you.
How do you
like
feel like
this
it
one
ranks?
because you really liked them mining all those crystals.
That was a huge bonus for me. As soon as the Goblin King is ripping crystals out of a tree, I'm like, oh yeah, I would be the Goblin King.
I need the crystals for my Rock Raiders.
I need those Rock Raiders crystals.
Yeah, I
Mark,
don't know.
Halloween. There you go.
Hey,
there
some
you
green
go.
hair
Some
dye, a
Goblin
little
King,
crown.
yeah.
Yeah. I could do that.
Purple cape.
I'll go as Beeblin.
And all your crystals.
Yeah, have them all.
I don't know. I didn't watch streams, so it's like I don't have a good
Oh.
reference. The only shows I've seen are like the Lego City shows and stuff like that, and those are actually funny.
Yeah.
So this is not better.
The comedy wasn't quite as on point in this show, huh?
I will not watch it again.
Yeah.
I maybe a 4 or a 5 out of 10.
So
it's not good.
Lower than average, and then
But I'm sure it's better than like Dreams. Dreams, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
you need to watch
guys would
Dreams
know.
to
Yeah.
know.
See it.
Now, Randy, you've
Yes.
seen at least Lego Dreams and probably some other Lego
Yeah, I've
media in the
seen
past.
Cities and all the movies.
How would
Types of
you
movies
rank
and stuff,
this
yeah.
compared to that?
I would. Oh, this is not high.
It's
I
not-
think Lego Dreams is better. I think
Okay.
Lego Dreams has more of a plot,
Okay.
and it did kind of jump into it a little bit, kind of like this one did. I feel like that maybe there's a Lego animated thing,
Yeah, they're really speeding up the
but
story.
the characters were way better.
Oh.
Yeah.
I feel like,
That's
and,
sad.
yeah, and I enjoyed watching that much more. I don't think I can't imagine why I would watch this again.
Yeah, it's not a rewatch thing. Okay. Yeah.
I go, like I said, I was just disappointed. It was very disappointing with the feeling like they're not so smart throughout the whole thing, and I can change you and make you who I want you to be.
They're
They're
less
undertone.
capable, more dumb than you thought they would be. So.
It was a little off. I guess the sisterly relationship, I think, was one of
It was
the best
definitely
parts
good.
of
Goblins
it
were
because it was
good.
so funny, and
Goblins
the
were
goblins
beautiful.
were number one for sure. And at the end,
Schmemlin.
I think the dragons redeemed a lot.
Yeah.
Just showing up.
And,
So
yeah,
there's highlights.
there's highlights of it, but
Highlights of
Overall,
the
yeah, I
not
would
really.
give it a 4.
Okay, yeah. And that's
that's
compared to Lego shows.
And that's compared to other Lego shows.
Yeah. So
It's
a normal show, it
No,
doesn't
no,
even hold a
no.
candle. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I understand all the complaints. I would say I'm actually a little higher on elves than you guys.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Hot
That's
take.
okay.
Crystals.
But
Yep.
I actually liked it better than Dreams.
Okay.
Because the more I think about Dreams, having watched it, I'm not as satisfied with the story. I think that the villains were way better in Dreams. I think that the characters, I'm still bothered by, like, Cooper, the car guy. He had nothing to do. And then the annoying voice from the sister, Izzy. So I think these characters were maybe just a little less annoying, but not that much better. They're a little bit better.
Okay.
So I would put Dreams at like a 4. I'd put Elves at like a 5. And just because I think that this plot made just a tiny bit more sense at the end. I know they had like a definitive end. Dreams kind of ended on like a cliffhanger-ish. They're looking for a castle, So
It's the gems, Mark. It's okay. You can say it.
they have more crystals
Yeah,
in this
more
one.
crystals
Okay,
in
yeah.
this one,
So
yeah.
the other one they had sand, and I hate sand.
It's coarse.
Yeah.
And rough.
Yeah.
Gets everywhere.
So
Oh my goodness, that was another thing. There was a line that was like, "If you're not with me, then you're against me."
Yeah, he
I was
literally
like,
says that. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like Anakin.
he's an
Angsty
Anakin
teen,
moment.
yeah.
For sure.
And they all find out they're cousins in the end.
Yeah.
There was a whole weird thing with that. They're
That
like,
was
wait,
funny.
you're my cousin? Wait, you're my cousin?
Sophie found out she was cousins with what's his name?
Yeah.
Cronin.
Cronin, yeah.
And she just goes, "What? We're cousins?"
Yeah, for the longest- it was such a great little sister
30
thing.
seconds of it. It was so
I
funny.
think it was deserved, though,
Right.
honestly.
Oh yeah.
Wait, you guys
100%.
each have little sisters, right? Or is your sister?
I do.
I have an
your
older sister.
Okay.
I definitely do.
So
That
I
was
can't
just
relate
like-
quite as much as Sophie, but it's still a great
That
character.
was so funny. It was,
It was
yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you guys at least seem to ironically enjoy most of Lego
it was,
Elves.
It was
so.
enjoyable to watch it with other people.
Is it? You think
Yeah.
it's worth watching as a Lego fan
I
from the
do.
outside?
Yes.
I do think it's worth watching. Like we were telling some of our employees earlier, we're like, you gotta watch it just so you know what we're talking
Yeah,
about.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Morbid
Morty-
curiosity. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it's stupid, but it's kind of funny. But it's just funny stupid. So
Mhm.
It's going to move up in the Netflix ratings now. And
Yeah,
they're
you're
not going to know
welcome.
why, but it is. Because
They're
these
gonna be
boys here are going to
"What
watch
happened?"
it. Yeah.
Yeah, dozens of people are watching Lego
Yeah.
Elves now.
What is going on?
that's more than ever before.
Oh, speaking of which, the Lego Elves TV show we're talking about is strictly on Netflix. It's a Netflix original
Uh-huh.
show. 1 season. We wish it was 3 so we could get the whole story.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So, closing thoughts.
Yes.
That we have this says here on the table from this season of Elves. Are you now more... You already have most of these.
I have most of these, yeah.
Joe and me, do you think you're tempted to buy some of these Lego products now having seen the show?
I've always like sometimes seen them come in certain ones. I'm like, you know what, that's kind of cool. Maybe I'll get that. But I was like, nah, I'm good. Now I might actually buy just this one and then all of the goblins.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just kind of want to have all the
Uh-huh.
goblins in their village. It's,
Mhm.
just, it's neat.
Yeah.
Then maybe like the Goblin King's Fortress and the dragon.
I was
Because
gonna
they're great
say-
colors.
Yeah. That,
This one was pretty spot on.
I know.
for the
That
show.
one,
It
that
was
one looks great.
great.
bright green color
Yeah.
is so cool. So.
I love to build this one.
Mhm. It's actually kind of hasn't been produced as much since this show,
Mhm.
so it's good to collect.
So it's a hard to find color.
I know for me, I wanted the elves before because
Yeah.
I like Friends in general. I'm actually a pretty big fan of
Yeah.
the mini doll style, unlike most Lego fans.
Yeah, it's just not my thing.
And
That's why I want
so
the goblins.
watching the show, I'm like, I need all the elves characters now, and like seasons 1 and 3 and all the other. Yeah, I need everything, but it's gonna have to be a slow process because
Yeah.
They're expensive.
they're expensive if you get them like this.
Yes.
Yes.
But they're not terrible if you get them built.
Get 'em built.
100%.
Like, some of these, like this one we had priced at $15 for this little building.
Yeah.
Not bad at
So
all.
that's
And it has to play
that's actually
Yeah.
probably cheaper
Yeah.
than it was retail originally.
Mhm.
So there's deals that can be found here at Atlanta Brico. So
That's
check
right.
out our websites, link in the description.
Look at it.
Little plug at the end.
He's so-
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, he's so good.
Beautiful.
Well, I
Yep.
think that summarizes our thoughts
Yes,
of
let
Lego
me
Elves.
I'm sad I didn't get to watch with Joe because
We
I feel
missed
like
you,
that would have
Randy.
been a thing.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
next
so
time. Next
special.
time.
We'll have more Lego shows to
Yeah.
cover. I saw that on Netflix they had Lego Friends, like several seasons of it. So I'll see if I can bamboozle some more of our coworkers into watching that with me. But until then, don't forget to like,
Yeah.
comment, and subscribe.
Yes.
We'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.